Hello, welcome to the Trade Ideas Market Recap for Tuesday, June the 3rd. My name is Barry Anderson. I'm the moderator of the trading room. This is the address to get into the room. First chart we're going to look at is the SPY, and I'm only bringing this up because just have to point out that the volume is still really bad right now. This is a daily chart of the SPY, and yesterday's volume was 64 million shares, 64.6, which is, again, not great. Today, with about half an hour left, we're only at 40 million shares, so we're starting to get into a really serious declining volume. So again, as I said yesterday, very difficult to find good bounce plays that are going to give us any sort of decent return. And to be honest, what I'm going to do is really start to concentrate on my break of the 20-day high. For whatever reason, they're at least giving me some good setups with some decent follow through. Not spectacular, but at least it's decent. So let me just show you the two. Actually, I'm going to go over three trades that I took today. And the first one was STIII. Now, again, this is not great. Why I took this really though is because this was a bank and I had missed FITB. And so I was kind of a little upset with myself that it triggered kind of early, and I don't like taking the trades too early. And it triggered, and I thought, well, maybe the banking stocks are going to do something. And so I decided to take this, and I took the trade. Let's see, the break is at 38.99, so I took the trade at 39.04 after this pullback. Now, it's not a bad pullback. I mean, it's only 8 cents off the break of the high, so that's not too bad. And so I took the trade here, and I sold as it was coming back down, 39.14. I took a little bit of profit here, and then I basically exited at my buy at 39.04. So again, nothing spectacular, but maybe a bit of a revenge trade for not taking the FITB trade. Now the next trade I took was the H was HRS. Now that came from one of our posters in the room, Paul, and he's been really good at these sort of bounce plays. Now this one did not work though. That's okay. I mean they can't all work, and but the reason I took it is you can see here. This is where the call was made, right around this area here, and when I see this, this is these are 2 minute. Actually, you know what? It looks a lot better on a five. I'm wondering why it didn't look as good. Let me just back this out a little bit here. Okay, this is what I saw here. So you can see that we've got this. This is a 5 minute candle, and you can see the big volume on the 5 minute candle. You can see what I'm looking at here is the fact that the stock was beaten down to this level, and then the buyers took over on big volume, and so that generally can signify the end of a downturn. And so I took the trade at 76.05 as it made its way over 76, but it just didn't work. It's that simple. And I sought myself out at 75.83 for a 21-cent loss. I would take the trade again, even though again the market is not getting the great volumes, and we're not getting, the market is weak. You're not going to get the bounce plays working as well. But again, when I see a pattern like this with a big hanging tail underneath and big volume, generally that can mean that the sell-off is over. But in this particular case, it didn't work. So you just got to move on. The next one was a good one actually. It was classically how these 20-day breaks of the 20-day high should work, or how should work, how I'd like them to work. Now I said in the room that I actually got into this trade quite late. You see the break of the 20-day high is actually 53.60. So right in this area down here is where the stock broke, and I was watching it, and I saw it come up, and I saw it come down, and then as it started to move again, I decided to take the trade at 53.75. Now, one of the reasons why I took the trade, you can't see it here right now, but where are we now? Utility sector right here, XLU. Now, at the time, and this is a utility, so at the time, XLU was right at the top here. So it was the strongest sector when I took this trade, and for a good part of this trade. XLU was moving up, and so was this. So that is why I took the trade, really, even though I felt I was a little bit late and I was kind of chasing it. So I took the trade at 53.75 with the sector on my side, and I exited half at 53.92. Again, worrying that maybe it would not break that whole number. And you can see that it had a few attempts at the whole number and got rejected. And finally it broke through, and I sold the second half at 54.12. And as I can see right now, again, the market's got another 25 minutes or so, and it's coming back down. So a good exit on the second half, but a nice steady trade, and really one of those ones which worked out the way I thought it would. There was never a point where I was going to get stopped out. So, it didn't, and I was in the right sector, which is really important, especially when the volume is bad and the market is not really going to help you. You really almost have to be in the right sector. Now, the one that I'm a little upset about is Met. I did not take Met, and I really should have. You can see here the 52.22 is the break of the high, 20-day high, way back down here, right in this area here, and you can see what a tremendous rise it had. And the reason I didn't take it is when I looked at the daily chart on it, I thought that it might get stuck around this area. So even though it was breaking the 20-day high, at the 20 what was it at 52.22. So right in this area right there. But I just thought it might get a little bit stuck in this area, and so I didn't take it again because the volumes weren't great, and I thought that I just wouldn't get any significant lift from it. But boy, was I ever wrong. I mean, we're talking right now. What this is telling me, we're at $1.03 past the 20-day high. We're sitting. It's right at the high of the day, and it's $1.03 past the 20-day high. So, on a day where not a lot is happening, that would have been a tremendous one to have taken. And I actually think what I'm going to do tomorrow is virtually try to take every one that breaks. And how I might play it is that if I take the trade and then it falls below the 20-day high, I just exit it. And it shouldn't cost me too much because when I take the trade, it's going to be relatively close to the 20-day high. And hopefully I can hang on and catch some of these larger moves. Now, there's a couple of, actually three stocks that I'd like to take a look at for tomorrow. And AE, AEIS is one of them. Now you might wonder why would I want to do that? And I'm talking about on the long side actually. Now I notice that it's coming down a little bit more. When I first looked at this, it was a little more close to the high of at the top of this candle. But at any rate, what I'm looking at here is obviously it was beaten up. It went all the way down to 16 and a half dollars, broke down through this level here. You can see if you look at this line right across here, down through this level. But the buyers then took over. And so if this can close near the high of the day, which maybe not feasible, but I still look at this. I look at this big tail here, and the buyers definitely took over and drove it up. So I will certainly watch this tomorrow just to see if it can continue with the buyers in charge and close a little bit of this gap. Again, if we have low volume day, we might have to start. Well, not might. Well, I'm going to have to start looking at the ones that had some action the day before and see if there's any sort of a continuation. ZBB is another one. Here it is on the daily. Again, this is a cheap one, and you can see that there's some resistance around 253, but we're talking about a $2.09 stock. So, if we can get up to close to that resistance area tomorrow, that's a tremendous percentage increase. And you can see why I'm interested. Here we had a pullback. Here we had a pullback. Here we had a little pullback, and now we may have broken free of this area. Now we have a little bit of maybe a little problem right there, but I mean that's only what price is that? That's a high of no, we're not. Actually, it just looks misleading on on the chart. So we've actually broken through that area there too. So this is definitely one I would watch tomorrow, especially if it can continue over the whole number of two. And the last one to take a look at would be ACFN. And again, you can see that Let me just get this, maybe looking a little bit there. ACFM had a tremendous day. Open, a dollar, what was it, a dollar 38, and hit a high of almost $2. So it's come back off a little bit, but still fairly strong. And look at this. I mean, we've got a gap up to this area, maybe of 328. So definitely have to watch that one tomorrow to see if there's any sort of continuation. Would have been nice though if it could close, if it maybe has a rally by the end of the day, though I doubt it. Only have 20 minutes left. But tomorrow, if it can maybe open over $2, then definitely I'm going to be taking a strong look at it because, you know, people, this is what people are going to do. I mean, people are going to be, investors are, well, I wouldn't call this an investment necessarily, but if you're in the market, you're going to be looking for the volatile stocks, the ones that have any chance of moving, especially if we get into more and more of these low volume days. So this is why, so I would encourage you to at least watch these tomorrow to see what happens. So that's it for today. Again, here's how to get into the trading room, and I hope to see you in the room tomorrow, which is Wednesday.